As many of you know, I'm a gay man, according to certain people on the internet. Now, does this make it true? I'm not really sure, okay? Like, for instance, my mom, she would probably disagree. My friends, they'd probably disagree. My sisters would probably agree, though. My dad would probably agree. I think that's why he hasn't been talking to me lately. Extended family, they kind of all passed away. My girlfriend, I think she would very, like, begrudgingly disagree. My ex is probably like 50-50, down the middle, okay? But anyways, I basically got into it with this person on Twitter, right? They were one of the people, they were calling me gay, which, it's whatever, right? I'm gonna get to more of that later. But anyways, this person, they happen to be fat, right? Now, me and them got into an exchange. People obviously witnessed the exchange. And it begs the question, is it worse to be gay or is it worse to be fat? Which in and of itself begs the question, is homophobia worse or is fat phobia worse? Okay, now I know I haven't posted in a minute. Long story short, I'm in a bit of a predicament, okay? I can't tell you about it. Everything's like, you wouldn't think it was a big deal, but like, man. Yeah, my bad about that. But anyways, I got the yaps in me, okay? I feel replenished. But anyways, let's get to this, get to the exchange. Oh, also, before we get to it, I did want to say something. I forgot how I wanted to say it, but basically, here's the thing. I have no, oh, good. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I'm saying this. Disclaimer, I have no problem with fat people or gay people. Do I think gay people are a little better? Well, I guess you'll have to watch this video to find out. But yeah, no, genuinely, I have no problem with fat people. I wouldn't call people fat unprovoked. Like, you're going to see what I get at when I explain. See, because the problem with Twitter is people don't have brains, okay? People, like, in general, need things spelled out for them verbally. Like, you guys know the amount of Twitter exchanges I've gotten onto on Twitter, and then people are like, oh, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? And then I explain it here, and you guys are like, oh, yeah, it makes complete sense. Bro, like, Twitter, there's something wrong with those people. All right, so here's the original post, okay? Okay, it's actually a quote tweet, but there's so much levels of internet stuff happening here. Okay, so right here, step one, get so sexy. Step two, let no one hit. Okay, basically this young lady's saying that, ooh, I'm gonna get so attractive so everyone wants me, but I'm not gonna let anyone sleep with me. Okay, and something I said in response to that is, if you're attractive and not having relations, you're no better than an ugly. Okay, and I believe that to be true, and I would go more into that right now, but I think that should be its own video. Okay, but I do have to talk about it a little bit. Okay, so here's why I posted it, because a lot of people, I would scroll through the comments, but someone posted something that like I wouldn't be able to show on YouTube, but people aren't happy about this at all. Like, they were in the comments very upset over it, in the quote, super upset about it. Oh, maybe we can look at the quotes. Yeah, I don't think the quotes are bad. Oh yeah, someone said I was giving off grapist vibes. I'm like, what are you talking about? Okay, I had to get into it with bro. So basically, I was like, yeah, you're just throwing words around. He said, how do you come to that conclusion in the first place? And basically, I asked him. I was like, okay. I said, if you're an attractive and not sleeping with anybody, you're no better than an ugly person. Do you think attractives who sleep with people are better than ugly people? And he was like, no. I was like, oh, so then you're also giving off the grapist vibes. Again, the problem is people just like throw these words willy nilly. Okay. Anyways, yeah. See, they're saying like this is like the dumbest stuff. First of all, again, I know it's not me being dumb. I know it's like 100% them not understanding what I'm saying. And the thing is, I feel like instead of being like, oh, you're dumb, I feel like they should be like, what do you mean? Bro, look at coon conversations, jigaboo jargon. But these things that they're saying about me, get minds out of the goon. Oh yeah, okay. Now I'm gonna have to explain it in this video. I'm definitely gonna have to explain to this video, because people think it's about like gooning or like being a gooner, or like you have to like just sleep with a bunch of people. That's not what I'm saying. Okay, so basically what I mean by this is, if you're an attractive person, right, and you're electing to not sleep with anybody for whatever reason, you can't find someone who meets your standards, whatever, you don't have the right to walk up on somebody and be like, you don't have any hoes. Because in all reality, you don't either. Like, I really wish I could have made this his own video, but it's like an unattractive person who literally can't get anybody to save their own lives, and you who like is just choosing not to have anybody, you guys are low-key in the same boat. Because the thing is, you aren't experiencing the joy of having relations. You know what I mean? And the thing is, again, like people are like, oh, don't just have with anybody. I'm not saying just have with anybody, but I am saying when you have it, it's a good experience, is it not? And again, I don't mean having a bunch of partners necessarily. I mean, you can even be in a relationship, like having a girlfriend, boyfriend, non-binary partner. Absolutely, I feel like it puts you above like these people who aren't having relations with anybody just because either they can't find L click, they can't click, or they're just unattractive. So again, something I'm saying is, you're letting no one hit. What's the point of step one? Like, what's the point of getting so attractive if you're just gonna let nobody hit? It's so people can feed your ego and tell you how like beautiful they think you are. Like, yeah, that comes across as shallow, comes across as very insecure. And look, I'm someone who loves receiving compliments. I get it, you know what I mean? But it's like, oh, I'm just gonna get attractive so I can let no one sleep with me. Again, it gives a bit like, oh, I just want this approval from other people. Because I'm telling you this right now, I like being attractive, like for myself, like just in general. However, there's an element of like me being attractive where it's like I need to be attractive so like I can like engage in these things. You know exactly. It's funny because you know what like women on the internet say? They'll say a rich man who's like stingy is the same as a broke guy. That's exactly what I'm saying right here. Okay, it's like you can have like all the features, but if you're not getting any benefits from it, then you might as well not even have them because you're not using them. It's like if I have a gun, right, and I'm like, okay, I have this gun, but I'm never gonna shoot it. I might as well not have a gun. You know what I'm saying? Like it's that kind of thing. Like, do you see how that makes sense? But I just phrased it in this very see, bro, I don't know how people like see this and decide to like take it too seriously. Like obviously I'm not joking. Like the take I gave you is just it's a take I have. But like see, if you're attractive and not having relations, you're no better than ugly. Like, bro, like that's just a funny way to say a sentence, and that's what I thought, and that's why I put it out there. But they are hating on me, each and every one of them. And then again, look at this girl in the comments. Men have such low respect for themselves. Gee, y'all hit anything. I'm like, I fear that doesn't relate to the post, because again, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about just go around sleeping with people for the sake of sleeping with people. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. If it's categorized as, oh, you're just sleeping with anything that moves, because again, that's not the only person who made a comment like that. If it's like, oh, like you're sleeping with anything that moves, then you're not attractive enough. You know what I mean? Like if you look at my track record and you see a bunch of uggos, then clearly I wouldn't have been attractive enough. But if you see that I've slept with attractive women, then you're not gonna say that I'm sleeping with everything that walks. I hate like giving women like number ratings, but if like you look at my history and you see 8, 9, 9, 8, 9, 10, 9, 10. If you see that kind of track record, you're not going to tell me I'm sleeping with anything. Now, if you could look at someone's track record, even if it's less, if it's 4, 3, 4, 4, you'll be like, oh, you're sleeping with anything. That's because they're underachieving. That's because like they don't have it in them. That's a completely separate thing from this. Okay. And like people hate when I say words like ugly. People always get so mad. But this literally has worse implications than what I'm saying. Y'all hit anything. Like you're just calling a woman who happens to be unattractive anything. Like, do y'all see what I mean? You see how these people like don't think? And that was another thing, bro. Like something that's so upsetting about being a creator and just something that's upsetting about Twitter in general is like you can just say something and then like people will just like not understand it and then try to find their own understanding of it other than being instead of being like, what do you mean? Because like, bro, if you don't know what I mean, then you don't know what I mean. You know, what am I gonna do? Yell at you? And you know what's crazy? Like they're calling like this like rage bait and stuff. And it's like, bro, like what's rage? When people say I make rage bait, I'm like, what is making you so mad about this? Like what about this statement is problematic in any way? And now mind you, okay, again, my assumption is it's because people don't want to identify with ugly people. But then it's like if I say, oh yeah, ugly people suck, or like, oh, like certain people are ugly, then it's a problem. Okay, but now when I'm like, oh, you're no better than an ugly person, people are like, oh, wait, no, actually, keep me away from these ugly people. Like again, bro, these people are idiots, bro. They don't know what they want. They don't know how they want it. Like they'll just find any reason to be upset about something, and then they have the nerve to call it rage bait just because they were like being like very, very stupid. See, you know what comment I respect? Not gonna lie, I have no clue what you're on about because they don't. They don't. Okay, thank you. Okay, now see, look, they're saying I'm posting BS. See, no, there are funny comments like this. This is why I like me when I'm stupid. What's stupid about it? What's stupid? Bro, see, it's comments like that. Oh yeah, no, this comment right here is important. No, because the uglies still be getting their piece, but when everyone wants a taste and no one can get a piece, top of the food chain. You are not better than anybody simply because you sleep with less people or you don't sleep with anybody. Because again, if you're not sleeping with anybody, you aren't getting the joy or pleasure of sleeping with somebody. So you are also missing out. So again, like this narrative, and I feel like this narrative has been very harmful to women that like you're somehow like better to anybody because you're not sleeping around is ridiculous. And again, you don't even have to be sleeping around. I mean, you can even be in a relationship in the scenario that I'm discussing. And then this person below talking about shriveled up. I always forget what words I can say. Shriveled up meat and like loose vajayjay. And it's like, bro, like you don't know how sleeping. And mind you, it's a woman who says this. It's a woman who said that. And when I tell you, like, we are regressing backwards so much, it's like there are these notions, right? Like, especially like these two comments, like I kind of like put them like hand in hand. It's like so much like, oh, stop calling women like whores or hoes, stuff like that. And here's the thing, I believe in that. I believe, okay, here's the thing. Y'all know how I feel about those words. I will not say I approve of like, or I'm not gonna say like I campaign for like stopping calling people in general that, but I do think we should decriminalize the words. Okay, so again, when people are like, "Oh, I'm a slut, I'm a hoe," like I don't mind it. You know what I mean? Like if you're being honest about what you are. But again, it's like we're doing so much work, or we were doing so much work as a society to like again stop demonizing these things, and they are both using notions that red pill incel men use in order to like get this point across. And I'm not saying that like women in general are the problem, because obviously like men are the ones still pushing these narratives, but it's like there's a situation where it's like a man's trying to like hand you like, oh no, it's okay to do this. No, this thing that like you guys are saying that you're fighting for, no, absolutely. Be a hoe, be a slut, be whatever you want to be. Now there's pushback. You know what I mean? And it's like, bro, like you're biting the hand that feeds you. Not that men in general feed women, but I just mean like obviously if you're in any sort of oppressed group, like if you're being oppressed by someone, you're going to need a hand from the oppressor. Again, same thing with black people and white people. Like there's a white person being like, oh yeah, I'm trying to think, oh yeah, police brutality is like bad, like that's horrible. And a black person was like, no, actually, bro, they should just comply with what the police officer said. Like, do you see what I mean? It's biting the hand that feeds you. I love these comments. Why you use ugly like a slur? It is. Okay, it is. I don't like ugly people. I'm sorry. It's okay. Then an ugly, like, bro, they're not different species. They are. But here is the comment. This is what started the whole obesity thing. Okay, so basically, this coming from a man with an unkempt afro who wears crop tops and hoop earrings is so. Here's the thing: is my afro unkempt? Oftentimes, absolutely. Even now, so yeah, like if you look around the whole thing, yeah. Do I wear crop tops and hoop earrings? Absolutely. Oh man, I thought of an insult I could have said to this person. I'll explain it later. Here's the thing. Okay, lock in with me. I want you to understand something. Comments like that aren't really a big deal to me. Okay, reason being, if they were a big deal, that's not the reason, but like this part of it. If they were a big deal to me, I wouldn't be able to do this. Okay, because people say stuff like worse than this all the time, all the time. What I'm getting at is, and the same reason the whole gay thing doesn't bother me, is because the things that these people say, and take this into your own life, the things that these people say online, or even if they said to me in real life, don't affect my life whatsoever. So it's like, even like when I was single and like people were like, oh, like you're wearing hoop earrings, oh, your outfits, oh, your hair. I still had hoes. I still had the roster active. Like the things, it's like I'm getting enough validation from external sources that like comments like this like don't matter. And I remember before everyone hated me, the amount of thirst comments that I would get, like that was a thing too. So it was like when they tried to double back and like make statements like, oh, your afro, oh, the earrings, blah, blah, blah. It's like, nah, you've already gassed me up so much that like you can't gas me down now. So genuinely, I don't really care about it outside of just, the initial like, ugh, like someone said something weird. However, if someone comments on my appearance, now take this how you will. You can say it's me being chalant. You can say it's me being bothered. I don't care. If someone says something about my appearance, I have to see what they look like. I absolutely have to. So I went on this young lady's profile. Now, I will not be showing you any pictures of this young lady because it's not that kind of video. It's not like, oh, like let's expose this person and like her, like, you know what I mean? Like that would very much lean itself towards like harassing someone or just like bullying. Like absolutely, like that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to like get to the point. You know what I mean? I'm trying to tell you the story because I feel like there's an interesting conversation to be had here. However, I will say I went to this person's profile and they were large. They were on the larger side. They were big. They were fat. Okay. And there's nothing wrong. I feel like you should be able to say fat people are fat. And here's something I will say, and I promise this is not like an extra thing. It needs to be said somewhere. This person in like a lot of their pictures, most of them was wearing black. And as we all know, black is a slimming color. It's a slimming color, right? Like I remember one time someone told me like when I take this jacket off, like my shoulders look huge. Black's a slimming color. They still looked fat. Okay. And the thing is, there's nothing wrong with being fat. It's okay. Okay. And another post I made was, I'm going to show you that right now. People I say right here, because I really think I cooked. Okay. I don't hate fat people. I've had fat friends before. I've even hugged them, allowed them to meet my family. I've had fat people meet my family. Okay. So I couldn't. Anyways, I've made love to a fat person. True story. I would never call someone fat unprovoked. Another true story, I would refuse to do so. Now, me in my younger years, when I say younger, I mean like a kid, like an actual child. But I would never just out of the blue be like, oh, like this is a fat person, or oh, you're fat. Like that's not my style of play. However, if you try to insult me whilst being fat at the same time, things will be said. Okay, now mind you, also something, a little extra thing here, specifically the fact that she came after my appearance looking the way that she did. I was like, like again, if there were definitely other like fat people, not like legitimately, like there were other fat people in the comments who called me like stupid or whatever. And it's like, whatever, that's the thing. But again, it's like if you come after my appearance and your appearance like isn't all the way there, I'm definitely gonna, I'm gonna make some statements about that. And also, and again, people, I'm gonna show you the tweet, and a lot of people probably think I went overboard. They probably thought I was like super mad. Here's the thing. My favorite thing is to like completely eviscerate somebody. My favorite thing is to take it from 0 to 100. All right, because again, it's the internet. Yes, it's annoying, and I complain about it all the time. But there are no real rules. Like nothing happens here. Okay, sorry, I gotta look back. Isn't this so poetic? Like this tweet, like bro, yeah, frame that in a museum. I had to quote tweet it and be like, y'all, look at this. Anyways, like I was saying, the internet's no rules. Okay, so there's no point in like, obviously, unless you're doing something crazy. Like if you're like doxing somebody, absolutely not, right? But there's no point. Oh yeah, and I'll get to that later, because the thing is, the first response I made, like there was no picture attached, even though I could have done that, but I was like, nah, like it's not that deep yet. You know what I mean? I feel like if I would have led with a picture, then like picture and be like, oh, this fat person, then it would have been a bit of a problem, okay? But I feel like just saying something really mean, like, come on, like we're hurting feelings. Come on. All right, y'all. So here's the tweet. I say, you're literally a fat person. I'd rather stick my testicles in a blender and gouge out my eyes to use them as substitutes than even vaguely recall what you look like even once. Now, here's the thing. Like, it's just, like, I'm not going to act like I'm some, like, poetic wordsmith, but, like, I kind of am a bit of a wordsmith. Saying the things that other people simply don't care to say, aren't willing to say, or aren't brave enough to say. And the way I've been feeling lately, I've been feeling very unabashed, okay? I don't feel like holding back anymore the things that I have to say. So when I tell her, you're literally a fat person, that it came straight from the heart. And the thing is, this sentence, it means so many things, okay? It's not simply an insult, okay? Like, it's barely an insult, because again, there's nothing wrong inherently with being fat, kind of. But like, okay, I'm gonna get to that like right now. I think being fat is a little bit bad only due to health reasons, okay? Now, I know there's some people that are like, oh, I don't like looking at fat people, blah, 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 blah. That's not where I'm going with it, okay? I just feel like it can be a little bit of an insult, much more of an insult than saying someone's gay, because I feel like someone's orientation is just like their orientation, who they involve themselves with is like, as long as they're, practicing safe relations, there's really nothing to insult there. But if you say someone's like fat, it's kind of like, oh, like you're unhealthy, which is an inherently bad thing, being unhealthy. Now, obviously, there are some people who are a bit chubbier, a bit overweight, and they're still like healthy, but like, yeah, that fat, that's not the term you use for that. So yeah, before y'all cancel me for like true like fat phobia, because I'm truly not fat phobic, not for real. But anyways, you're literally a fat person. It means so many things. Okay, it's like you're a fat person, but then it's also like you're a fat person stepping to me. Like you're coming into my realm. Especially, my thing is, if you're gonna be fat on the internet, bro, you gotta be prepared for this type of stuff. Not gonna lie, bro, if I was like fat on the internet, again, I say it's about ugly people, fat people, anything else, people with relatives that passed away, bro, you either gotta be ready for some crazy stuff, or you're gonna have to bite your tongue. Like, it's simply how it is. But what I like about this is it's one sentence, okay? I'm not going into too much detail right here about how rotund this person is. You know what I mean? It's like everyone knows the implications I'm trying to imply with this sentence right here. Okay, with this sentence alone. And it's funny to me. Okay, it's funny because again, like some people act like fat people are morally wrong. Like morally, there's nothing wrong with it. That's why I really like, just like in the previous post where I was like, oh, like you're no better than an ugly. Like I love like implying like things are inherently bad when like most people would say that they aren't. Like it's the same thing. I remember I got into an argument with someone they're from Great Britain, and I was like, you're literally from the UK. And then like, because it kind of brings people to a place where they're like, what? But now that I'm talking about a fat person, it's kind of a thing. And now as for I'd rather stick my testicles in a blender. Look, God gave this one to me, bro. I've never thought about saying anything like this in my life, but I was like, I know, like, it's a good one. And also, it's the fact for me that entire conversation, that comment section, I've been letting stuff slide. People are like, oh, you're stupid. You're an R slur. What are you even talking about? You're an idiot, blah, 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 blah. It just took one. Okay, and this keeps people in check. Okay, it reminds people that, you know, if you have a public account, you got stuff like on there, you got pictures of yourself. I have things to say. Okay, I can have some very choice words, because the thing is, on here, I'm never gonna say anything crazy on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like when it comes to like directly responding to somebody, because obviously I don't want to. I know like YouTube's kind of, I mean, obviously stricter than Twitter. I don't want to, you know, get myself into problems. And on TikTok, you can't say anything remotely negative about anybody. So like I feel like a lot of people, like they might get into exchanges with me on TikTok, see my responses on TikTok, you know, think stuff sweet. Sometimes you really got to go for the jugular. And now, is this something that like I'm expecting her to go home crying about? No, I think it's more so funny than anything. If it's kind of like a warning shot, okay? Because see, like I'd rather stick my testicles in a blender, blah blah blah. Like that's more for the audience. Like that's more like ha ha ha. Oh, this guy said drop some videos. Well, here I am right now. But anyways, it's more like ha 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 for the audience. Like that's a funny thing to say. The thing about insults like this is nobody, like I don't know her well enough on a personal scale for it to really hurt her feelings, and I know that. Okay, it's all for show. Like I'm doing this for the audience right here. That's why when people are like, oh, like, you know, you're triggered, you're mad. It's like you don't understand. Like literally, like that, like this entire thing's a punchline. It's for y'all to see. You know, you gotta breathe in. Now here's the thing. Okay, there were a couple more comments. I don't know if they're deleted or if I just can't see them in the desktop version. They were censored by Twitter, so she couldn't put them up. So I think they maybe did upset her a bit. Okay, before I read this, I'm gonna tell you, at some point a sentence is gonna come out of my mouth, and you're gonna need to slow it down and understand what I'm saying. Okay, it's what they say right here. I'm gonna read this part, but it says, "You lucky I'm one more tweet from getting banned. You literally like men. You're going to hell. I'm not worried about it." If you're telling me, and this is the sentence I warned you about earlier, I warned you about it like 10 seconds ago. Are you seriously gonna look me in the eye? Okay, I'm trying to make myself big. Gotta get big on you. Ooh, get big, get big, get big. Yes. You're gonna look me in the eye and try to tell me that you think gay people are gonna go to hell and fat people are gonna be where exactly? Heaven? Like you really think if God is that stingy about gay people that he's gonna like look at your rotund self and be like, nah, this is fine. Like I don't see it. Okay, and by rotund self wasn't at the commenter directly. I just mean that in general. Like in general. Like I don't. You know what I mean? Like if he's that strict, if the Lord is that strict, there's no way. Because bro, gluttony is like one of the main sins, isn't it? It's like one of the top sins, bro. Oh man, I should have said, bro. I'd be thinking of so much stuff after the fact. I mean, just for the record, I'm of the personal. I don't think fat people nor gay people are gonna go to hell for being themselves. Okay, so I don't wanna get anything mixed up. But again, this is gonna be the conversation that we have later on. Like, what's worse, you know, being gay or being fat? Like, it's one of those. It's an age old question. Okay, but anyways, I'm not even fat. You're just look. Again, I'm not gonna show you a picture. Trust me, bro. Anyways, just offended because your hair literally never done. It's been done. Okay. Now, okay. Something I've been meaning to say about that. Is my hair frequently not done? Yes, absolutely. However, I will say, and this for you, this is just for y'all. I live in central Pennsylvania, and this is my excuse for a lot of things. When I tell you there's not much to care about going on here whatsoever. Okay, once all my friends graduated, bro, I literally have nothing to do. So unless I'm seeing my girl or something, bro, I got no reason to get gussied up. All right, so that's why the hair stays undone. And plus, I'm not like I'm paid 60 to like sit in the house. Like, nah, it just doesn't make sense. But when I do move to a larger city this summer, like that's the plan, then I will indeed have to lock in. Okay. However, again, factual statement. My hair is never done. But again, not really offended by it. People have been saying this for years. Remember when everyone called me Frederick Douglass? Like it's a thing that happened. Okay. Again, it's the fact that she was fat. It's like you're gonna say things about people and then be large. Like, come on, man. And here's the thing. Okay. Like, you're worried about my hair. Look. Again, I don't want to get too much on like, you know, bigger people, but it's like, bro, talking about hair. I could go get a lineup. I could get cornrows today. It's gonna take you a good while in the gym to you know what I'm saying. So it's like, why are you trying to, like, why is this the competition? Like, I'm not, like, I feel like you gotta fight the fat allegation a bit harder. Like, I feel like this is how you lose arguments. And then you got on your sister's clothes. First of all, I'm 6'6". My sisters, we could never fit each other's clothes. Actually, not true. I can fit any upper body garment of clothing, but not my sister's clothes. My clothes. Okay, I get them from men's sections. You know, gay men's sections, but men's sections nonetheless. Okay, just admit you're an F slur. It's way, bro. I want to tell you, this right here, this F slur is the source of something that actually did upset me, okay? And it's not what she said. I'll get to that later. But anyways, just that when I take, do you realize how long it's taken me to get through this paragraph? I'm sorry, I love talking, man. I love being back. Anyways, just to make your F slurs way easier, you've been rage baiting for other gays on the internet for too long. Give it up. Here's the thing, okay? For one, I'm glad she thinks the gays rock with me, okay? I hope they do. Two, as you can see, these people come to me, and I've said this before, they come to me with a sense of established anger with me, a sense of animosity off the rip because of something from like a while ago that they're thinking about. Like she's thinking about some post that like I made, like, because again, I've been rage baiting for too long. She's thinking about some post from the past that she's mad about, and she's taking it out on a completely normal post. Like if this was a situation where I said something that called for like just a random insult out of nowhere, I would have let that. Like when I say like, oh, like I hate ugly people, ugly people should suffer, they're not, ugly people aren't worthy, don't trust ugly people, and then people come in saying, wait, no, you're actually ugly, I kind of just let it go, you know what I mean? Because I feel like I set myself up for that kind of comment. But this is out the blue. I'm talking about attractive people sleeping with, choosing not to sleep with people, and like how that doesn't make them better than an unattractive person. And now you want to talk about my haircut while being big? Come on, it's not happening. But what's funny to me is, damn, it's a shame you homophobic. And she said, I'm really not, I love everybody. After saying, just admit you're an F slurs. Wait, like, come on, bro. Like, what are we doing here? Oh yeah, also something else that is funny. This person did, as this comment so eloquently puts, they did delete pictures. Because as soon as I called them big, I feel like they knew what was coming next. They deleted pictures, and the ones that they kept up, they were still large. So then that prompted me to make this post, okay? Now, the thing is, the picture is behind my head right now. Again, I don't want to show her picture on here. Here's what I said, though. I put, in quotes, I'm not even fat. Your profile is public. It is public. I saw it, and she looked big, okay? Please don't make this more embarrassing than it is. Cry face emoji. You look like you ate your siblings to level up your girth and tonnage. See what I'm saying? Bro, like I can just talk, bro. I'm so good. I'm so good. Oh, you also deleted pictures from when you were at your most obese. Own it. It's okay. See, I feel like we're going tit for tat, but I'm going for the noble battle, okay? I'm going for the noble battle. Because this person also, like, do I want to say this on here? This person, long story short, not a looker either. Okay, but here's the thing. It's one thing. Look. And I know I'm the ugly guy hater, or the ugly human being hater. Like I love just like, you know, telling people, oh, well, you're ugly, and then like getting on them. But the thing is, sometimes you have to choose the funnier route. And the thing is, in this situation, and like again, like I'm very much micro analyzing the minor Twitter beefs that I get into. I knew the obesity was the way to go. I knew that was definitely the one to work with. And also, and look, people don't like this, but if you say someone's fat, oftentimes in like small parentheses, people also see like ugly. Like people grandfather the term ugly, and fat people are not inherently ugly, okay? However, if you call someone fat, a lot of times like there's an insinuation there that you're also calling them ugly. So it's like when people come to me like, oh, you could just said she was ugly, like get out of here with that. Oh yeah, also, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier because I took a nap in between takes here. Some people are kind of coming to her defense saying that she's not that big. And here's the thing, she is. Okay, she is. But the thing is, the problem is, I remember something I wanted to do. Okay, but I'll say this first. I feel like now we've been gaslit as a society with body positivity, which body positivity, being proud and like okay with your body, that's one thing. Okay, I completely approve. But like I feel like there's certain segments of people that try to cling to that kind of are trying to not acknowledge what the body is. You know what I mean? Like it's one thing to be body positive, be like, oh, like I'm fat and I'm okay with this. But body positive shouldn't be like, oh, this body type isn't fat, when it clearly is. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to be 300 pounds, like, you know, bedridden in order to be fat. Like that, it's people are fat. Like there are people who are fat who can just like walk around. Maybe they can even jog. It would look a little funny, but they can jog and they're still fat, and that's okay. Okay. But like when people come here and they're like, oh, well, that's not that. That's not that. Now I feel like I really have to hammer the point home. Same thing if it was an ugly person. Bro, that'd be saying certain people aren't fat. It's like saying I'm not black. And look at me. You know what I mean? Like just because I don't look like Damson Idris Snowfall dude, like that, like I'm not black. Like no, like again, like there's levels to fat. You know what we gonna do? just Googled fat people. Okay, actually, I binged it. I binged fat people. Okay, and let's see. Look, this is very fat, right? But like, and look. Okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I am not calling these people fat unprovoked. This is not me insulting them. It's just I Googled fat people and this is what came up. Okay, I hope we all understand that. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I went to pause and didn't pause. Okay, but anyways, my point, this is what society is deeming fat, okay? And clearly, when you look up fat, you're going to see people on the bigger side. But see, again, like, these are fat people. They're getting up, they're walking around, they're going on walks. Another fat person right here. See, now this is the kind, again, like, I feel like when you say fat, like, people think you can only be talking about this kind of person. And that's not true at all. Or this kind of person, the person that they can't even walk or they need a cane. You know what I mean, bro? Imagine Googling fat people and like you see yourself. Like, imagine that. You know what I mean, bro? See, wait, is this a fat kid? Oh, these are children. Is that too far? I'm telling you this right now. I'm not beyond calling children fat, but I think some of you might be beyond calling children fat, so I'm not gonna do it. Um, yeah. No, I'm not gonna say anything. But there's nothing wrong. Nothing wrong is happening. Okay, I just want y'all to know everything's okay. Everything's okay. You know what I mean? And again, like they're showing AI big people. You know what I mean? Kevin James, bro. Bro. I'm sorry. It's that you looked up fat people and it's like just his face. But like you know what I mean, bro? Like Kevin James, bro. Like Kevin James, like he was a maneuverable fat. And yes, he lost weight, but when he lost weight, he was still fat. You know what another problem is, bro? You look up chubby people. I had a big statement to make about this, bro. They're still showing fat people. You know what I mean? Like they're showing more. Like some of these people are bigger than the people. Oh, sorry. I also looked up realistic fat people, but like some of these people are bigger than like the people in like the fat section. You know what I'm saying? So personally, I think the word chubby is like a CIA psyop to get people to be more fat because like it gets to the point where it's like, and look, I need you to look me in the eye. Okay, I feel like people aren't gonna like all this fat talk coming from me. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you exactly why I can like talk like this. I'll tell you exactly why. And I think I've said it before in a video. I have multiple eating disorders. So I feel like if anyone's like kind of like honorary, like on the fat team, it's me. I'm on the fat team. I'm one. Me and them, like we're low key like locked in. Okay. So I'm giving some, not even tough love. You know what I mean? Not because love is a strong word. So is tough. Tough is a strong word. I'm just giving some like, I'm giving some factuals. Like the way I see it, if I almost died due to like thinking I was fat, like body dysmorphia. And here's that. By the way, the thing about body dysmorphia, I feel like people are gonna try to be like, oh, well, that's why like you could think like certain people who aren't fat are fat. Body dysmorphia for me, okay, not for everybody else. Okay, I almost died. So if anyone has the right to talk about the big O's, it's me. Come on. Oh yeah, sorry for saying big O's. I know that kind of sounds like a slur for like fat people, but I don't mean it like that. Okay, I just mean like it just rolled off the tongue. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I saw the picture again. Some people, if you're one of the people in the comment section of my Twitter saying that a certain person wasn't that big, I want to know who the people in your life are. Anyways, back to the main point. Okay, I'm looking in these comments. Okay, someone literally said I was on your side. Wait, okay, yeah, I can just show you these comments. I don't think there's anything not safe for YouTube on it. Because bro, I need you to see this. Okay, for one, again, that she's not even fat. It's really like this is really grinding my gears because I'm like, bro, we have eyes. Anyways, I'm gonna try to stay off that, even though it is frustrating for me. I was on your side till I saw this 40 likes. Did bro like? And again, it's in the same post. Like again, I'm gonna scroll up. Hopefully, I don't accidentally scroll up to the picture of the young lady. But literally, in the post, you can see she's calling me the F slur. Now, mind you, here's the thing. It's one thing if you want to say, by the way, this is disgusting. Both of y'all look good. I'm not going to lie. If you think both of us look good, I don't want you to think I look good. Because I would, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be in that group. Anyways, again, besides that point, it's like you see this. If you want to sit here and say, oh, you guys are both going too far. How dare you? Blah, blah, blah. That's one thing. But what do you mean that you were on my side? You saw this woman use the F slur, which again, to me personally, I get called the F slur every day, especially on social media, okay? So typically it's not a big thing. But what does upset me is I'm getting called the F slur right here, and I call a fat woman fat, and now I'm the bad guy. They're out here calling them fine shit. What? What? Like, is it, bro? It's March 31st at the time I'm recording. Like, what is it? April Fool's Day coming early? Like, I don't get it. Someone says she big but not fat. How much? She big but not fat. How much sense does that make? Like, how are you big and not fat, bro? Like, look, I'm sorry. I hate to make it sound like I have a vendetta against, the larger ones, because I really don't. Okay? But the narrative around this is crazy. Like, again, like, if you want to be like, oh, Bryce, fat joke's not cool. But for one, we're being gaslit. And two, I'm being told that calling her fat's worse than the usage of the F slur. Crazy. Bro, I'm getting called a man child. Someone says she deaf, not fat, but bro, she's just endomorphic. I don't even know what the fuck that means. And I know so many words like that. What? When did bro flip the switch? Don't know what that means. Man with 8,000 followers sending his whole fan base to bully a woman. Look, that's absolutely not what I'm doing. Okay, not what I'm doing. However, here's the thing. Here's the thing about platforms. Let me make myself big. Okay, this is some real stuff. Here is the thing about platforms. And for one, 8,000 followers on Twitter is not a lot. Like, let's not act like I'm some like Twitter celebrity. You know what I mean? However, 8,000 is sizable compared to someone who does not have 8,000. Someone who has like double digits, triple digits, whatever. Here's the thing: is my platform a thing? Is it a thing that exists? Could I send the masses to go attack someone? Absolutely, I could. Is that ever my intention? No, not at all. And I promise you, if it ever was my intention, I would have done it. I've had way more against people than this little situation right here. Again, if a fat woman calling me the F slur was the worst thing that anyone's ever said to me, I'd have a pretty good internet experience. But that's not true at all, okay? However, again, I do understand the gravity of carrying my platform in such a way where I'm not outwardly going to attack people for no reason. But just because I have a larger platform doesn't mean I have to take this bullshit on the chin, because I don't. I really, like, truthfully, I don't. Do you know what I do 95% of the time I see a negative comment? Like, look, you can look in this comment section to this post right here. Most of these comments, I'm letting them slide. People calling me all sorts of stuff, letting them slide. But one of every 10 times, because that's 10%, and the other percent I said was 90, I'm pretty sure. The one time I respond, somehow I'm bullying. Somehow I'm hurting my fan base. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, DM her? What? Because I got followers, I'm supposed to like DM her some insults? No. And the thing is, in an instance like this, I gave her a chance. You know what I mean? Like, I quote tweeted instantly, right? Quote tweet kind of did a little well. She kept going. That's when I quote tweeted with the picture with the proof of obesity. Oh yeah, by the way, me and her, like, we kept going like back and forth in the comments for a while. It was actually like very hilarious. But anyways, my point is, why y'all have this habit of like thinking certain people are supposed to be above things just because of like a certain status that they have. And it's on a much smaller scale, admittedly. But like, again, like, look at how like certain people treated LeBron. Okay, now personally, we're LeBron glazers on this page, at least. You better glaze LeBron. But anyways, there are a lot of LeBron non-glazers out there, right? And there are people, LeBron's peers, not peers, like kind of like former peers, who basically, when he confronted Stephen A. Smith about his son, when he went on the podcast and talked about stuff, they're acting like, oh, that's a B-word move, like him like talking about this, him saying this, him saying that. And it's like, meanwhile, the craziest things have been said about this man for 20 years. So it's like you're sitting here trying to tell this man that he can't pop his shit once for a man who, like, for at least a decade has been like, oh man, he's not better than Michael Jordan. He's not better than Michael Jordan. Oh man, his son. Oh, why didn't he go to Kobe's funeral? Blah, blah, blah. And mind you, and the crazy part is they're like, oh, like, yeah, like, we can like shit on you for your play, blah, 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 blah. He himself even admitted that. He's like, yo, like, if someone's playing bad, you can say they're playing bad, blah, blah, blah. He's literally critiquing their job the same way that they critique his job, but they can't handle it. The same way, and I love that I'm able to compare myself to LeBron here, the way that I'm getting insults hurled at me, now just hurl a few back. Like, it's not that deep. And it's just like, if we want to do this virtue signaling, like who's taking it too far thing, are you really telling me that her calling me the F slur in the previous message that's literally in the post of me saying she's fat and that it looks like she ate her siblings to gain levels of girth and tonnage, Like, you can see the F slur, like, right there, like, on the tweet, like I showed y'all earlier. And somehow, I'm the one who's fucked up because I'm calling a fat person fat? Like, are you niggas serious? It's stuff like that that truly makes me hate so much. Because in this interaction, right, this little shared thing, I'm having fun. Again, I think it's funny. I like, between you and me, like I said, I like making fat jokes. I think they can be quite funny. So it's like when someone puts me in a position where I feel like I can use them and morally, like, it's okay because, I've been poked first. I'm having fun. I'm having a great time. But then these people come like raining on my parade as if I'm being fucked up. Oh no, BRS. No, BRS, you can't do this. Meanwhile, I'm getting called the F. And again, what's worse? Is it worse to be gay or is it worse to be fat? Is homophobia worse or is fat phobia worse? Like if we're being honest with ourselves. And the thing is, part of it, I know it is. It's because she's a black woman. And this is not speculation. I had a couple people in the comments say that to me. They're like, oh, that's why it's too far, because you should know how this issue has specifically affected black women. And someone had the nerve to bring up eating disorders to me, the eating disorder king, right? Been hospitalized for my eating disorders. And I'm telling you this right now, as someone with an eating disorder, someone saying like shit like that to me, like if you told me I was fat like today, it's a womp womp type situation. There are men who have been and still get unalived. Their lives get taken because they are gay, because they are homosexual. I want you to think of like, I beg you to, I would say one, but I'm covering my bases. Give me 3 hate crimes, 3 violent hate crimes that off the top of your head that happen to fat people. Oh yeah, but the reason I brought up the black woman thing is it's like, oh yeah, it disproportionately affects black women. What about homophobia in black men? Like, are we like, bro, nobody takes homophobia seriously until it can be some sort of like gotcha moment. You know what I mean? But like somehow, and like, I didn't want to say it, but I feel like a lot of these people who are upset about this probably on the bigger side themselves. Okay, if I'm being real. And that's not like an insult. I just think it's very common for people to be bigger. So it's like if they see me coming after a bigger person, they're gonna be like, oh well, fuck you, blah, blah. Just like when I say like average height for a man is like 6 foot. A bunch of dudes who are 5'10" are gonna come and be upset at me for saying that, but it's like, bro, like whatever. You know what I mean? But the guy who's like 6'3", like he's probably not gonna care about that statement. Even if he thinks it's wrong, at most he's probably just gonna think it's like funny or like brush it off. When people talk about certain things like racism towards white people and like misandry, and they're like, oh, those things aren't that big of a deal, because like the worst thing that happens is like someone gets their feelings hurt, like someone says something mean. Okay, I'm telling you, look. I'm telling you, fat phobia is closer to that than it is to homophobia. Like, homophobia is closer to like racism, far closer to racism than it is to fat phobia as far as like levels of seriousness. Like, there are places where homosexuals would rightfully be afraid to walk the streets. Okay, but what is a fat person gonna be afraid of? You know what I mean? Like in those same situations, like what are they afraid? Like they're just large. It's like, again, like the worst thing that happens to fat people discrimination wise is like, oh, they're getting shamed, judged, looked at funny, stuff like that. The worst things that happen to gay people is they get murdered. They get graped sometimes, even tell me how much sense that makes. People get graped for being homosexual. So it does make me sad. I'm so disheartened that a comment like that can be made directed at me. Okay. And yes, was that in response to a fat thing? Absolutely it was. Okay. The ante was upped. Okay. Like, again, it's like, it would be one thing, right, if she said the thing about the unkempt fro and like me and my like little outfits or whatever and my hoop earrings, and then called it a day, and I made like the fat comment, and then she was like, oh no, like she was just like crying for whatever reason, right? And then I kept going. That'd be an issue. Even if I just made the fat comment and she didn't say anything back, and someone like tried saying I was like going too far, that's more of a discussion. But she commented on my physical appearance, I commented on hers. Fat joke. She called me the F slur. Like that, like, do you see, like, that's upping the ante all the way to here, and then I just come back with more like your fat stuff, and somehow I'm the bad guy. And you know what's crazy? You know what's really upsetting about this? Most of the people like talking this shit follow me. It could be you. You could be in here talking shit. Meanwhile, you're out here being a BRS supporter, which I appreciate your support regardless, but Man, it gets to a point where it's like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I'm supposed to sit here every time something out of pocket is said and just be like, and brush it off? No, because that's just not realistic, right? Because like think about yourself in general. Having any sort of internet presence is not normal. Not this many people were ever supposed to have access to in your life. Like, more people have seen my face than like like 100 years ago, if I would have existed. Like I've had millions of people like just see my face. Okay, I'm not saying interact with me. Like, I'm not saying I have millions of followers. I mean just like straight up have seen my face. That is not normal. And I've absolutely had hundreds of thousands of people consume my content in one way or another. So imagine, on the smallest scale I can actually imagine. Imagine you have 5 people insult you a day. Just say something. They just say some like just bullshit to you. It gets to a point, like, at first, like, maybe you're gonna want to respond to all of them, you know, and be like, hey, because I remember at first, like, when I first started blowing up on TikTok, I'd like kind of like respond to it all, but then it gets to a point where you're just like, don't really care that much. However, every once in a while, you just don't want to let people get away with that. You know what I mean? Because it's like, if you establish yourself as someone to be pushed around, then you will be pushed around. It just gets to a point, even more so, it gets to a point where it's like, yeah, I'm used to this. This is a thing. But bruh, like, this shit's just so annoying. I gotta say something. And in that situation, and first of all, in the situation, many of you would say more than what I said, meaning you would say more things to more people. I've seen it happen. I've seen people, like, you know, when they have like one post that blows up to 1 million and they respond to every fucking comment. The average person who isn't used to receiving so much criticism most likely will react like that, which means most people in general, including you, maybe, again, I don't want to alienate the viewer, but a lot of you would respond to anything anybody said about you. So why, just because now you might have a larger platform, you have some sense of responsibility to put up with disrespect? Like, just for the sake of it. Like, I could have put up with that and went on about my day and things would have been normal. I would have been fine. Absolutely. But why should that be what I have to do? Why can't I make a joke directed at somebody? Why can't I fight fire with fire? Like, something I want you to understand, and this kind of like facilitated this mindset of mine. Before I really got into the thick of it with social media, but like I was still blowing up, I wasn't bothering anybody. I don't think I bothered anybody until I got to at least past 100K on TikTok. I was telling my stories, going to sleep, waking up, telling more stories, living my life. Okay, I wasn't saying anything to anybody. I wasn't saying anything about anybody that, like, any, you know what I mean? Like, I was just telling my stories, telling my dating stories, and then I would just get insulted. It would just happen. It's the nature of social media in general. Like, literally, like, you could post anything and someone will find something to say. So it's like, when I'm going viral and people are like, oh, this guy's this guy's that, and I just let it slide in those moments. Again, when I say at first I used to respond to every comment, I mean like before I was even like anything, I used to respond to any comment. But once I realized it was too many to respond to, and that would kind of look like I was tweaking, then I was like, okay, I can't respond to them all. But before I stitched a single video disagreeing with a take, making my own take, when I was just minding my business, people still said the craziest stuff to me. So it's like, at what point can I just like exist? Why should I let you people be if you people don't let me be? You know what I'm saying? Now, again, if she made some random tweet, like just talking about something that I disagreed with, and I quote tweeted it being like, oh, you're big, blah, 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 that would be one thing. And that would be very messed up. Okay. What's funny is those are the kinds of things that people actually do to me as a creator. It's like, people have taken tweets I've said, TikToks I made, YouTube videos I made, and like quote tweeted them, like reposted, commented, saying that I should end my life. Like, saying things like that. Meanwhile, someone comments something on my post, and then like I quote tweet something back. Like, I'm clearly, like, obviously, like, it's an insult, like, it's very insulting, but clearly it's like lighthearted, as lighthearted as it can be. And I'm the one who's worse off. Like, those people who comment tell me to take my life, no one gives them a think piece. You don't see that comment section full of like, oh, what's wrong with you? How could you do that? Blah, 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 blah. No. But when I call a fat person fat, in response to being insulted, God forbid, I get called the F slur for minding my business. I get called the F slur for minding my business a year ago. Most of y'all do not give a damn. But because it's me if I say something, oh my gosh, Bryce, you can't say that about big people. Oh no. Meanwhile, oh my God. Meanwhile, there's some to my look. I have very limited knowledge on this, but I did see it on Twitter, so I'm gonna bring it up now. There was some congresswoman, I think she was some former politician, made fun of another politician who was like paralyzed. Like he's in a wheelchair. She called him Hot Wheels. She made fun of a man who is paralyzed because they disagree politically. And these same exact people are like, oh, well, that's what you need to do. You got to fight fire with fire. Oh, well, that's what the Republicans have been doing for years. But when the shoe's on the other foot and the rabbit's got the gun, then it's the worst thing in the world. And I'm gonna say this right now. I'm pretty sure making fun of someone who's paralyzed is worse than making fun of someone who's fat. Like, just objectively. A lot of you only care about being righteous when it's convenient for you, or you feel like you're fighting for the underdog. Like in this situation, that woman where I'm like, oh, she's fat, she's very much the underdog in that situation. And look, here's the thing. I'm not gonna act like no one's supporting like my like fat statements. Trust me, that there people are. But there's a lot of detractors, and I don't like that, okay? But what I'm about to say is, if the roles were reversed, right? She had the platform, I didn't have a platform. I made some sort of insulting comment. She said something to me, I said something about her weight, and then she called me the F slur. In that situation, I do believe that people would attack her more. But it's like, it shouldn't be like that. Like, your opinions on issues and how things are measured should be consistent. Like, again, like this is a topic of what's worse, being fat, being gay. What's worse? Fat phobia, homophobia. Like that is literally the conversation that should be had. The conversation of, oh, well, it's you, BRS, you with the platform. Oh, well, this person's this person's that. That shouldn't be it. It should be what is worse, and have a consistent opinion. But people don't, because people aren't consistent, because virtue signaling, especially since around, when did George Floyd happen? Around that time, virtue signaling has become the most popular thing in the world. Everyone loves to pretend to care about things. I guarantee you, obviously, other than the fat people who commented, a lot of these people, they don't care about fat people in their personal lives. I guarantee you, some of these people would make the same joke privately. But a lot of y'all feel the need to stand by, oh, look how good of a person I am. I'm not standing for this fat phobia. I'm not, ooh, he said this, blah, blah, blah. Oh, this big creator, he's sending his followers to like this woman to attack her, blah, blah, blah. Rather than being like, this is only in response to a comment that was, an insult directed at him. She did call him the F slur. Maybe she's the worst party here, which, again, objectively speaking, like, yeah. Like, I'm a horrible person, but in this instance, bro, like, I'm definitely on the right side of history. It's just disheartening to see. And I feel like there's also a certain element of, like, people, again, the F slur, especially the F slur coming from women, is becoming so normalized. It's actually crazy. And also, I think part of it is my insults were just better. They were better. They're more concrete. They're more elaborate, more insulting. Obviously something that would entertain the masses a bit more. So I feel like that adds into like the underdog value. Like, oh, well, this guy's he's clearly got this going on. So let me try to fight against him. But it's like, bro, like, no. Like, don't do that. Especially if you follow me, bro. Like, come on. Like, we're supposed to be a cult over here. And bro, I'm just saying, you would never catch me. And I'm not gonna lie, in any context, seeing fat phobia versus homophobia in siding with the homophobia. Again, like, it would be one thing to like denounce us both, but people being like, wait, no, she's not that big. Oh, you're going too far. How could you say that, BRS? Like, it's actually kind of gross. Like, I have so much to say about it, but also like not enough to say about it. So I'm not gonna lie, I look, you gotta wrap it up. But also, I did a disclaimer, but I'm also gonna do a post disclaimer. Okay, I did one before, I'm doing after. Look, there's nothing wrong with being gay, and there's also nothing wrong with being fat. Both completely valid types of human beings to be. But again, I feel like being gay is a little bit better. I'm just saying. That's why, that's part of the reason why, like, what's funny is if you look through any of the threads of like me and her talking, like, she will like keep going on with the gay thing, and I'll just never respond to it, because again, I don't find it to be quite insulting. Now again, if she was saying I was like gay and I had like a disease because I was gay, then I'm like, okay, that's a bit like too much. Now you're just being straight offensive, right? But it's like, Like again, it's just like it's not a thing, but you know it's intended to be a thing. And I wonder if that's also part of the reaction where people are like, oh well, there's nothing wrong. Nah, she used the F sir. She used the F sir. Like clearly, there's offense there. But the thing is, here's how my mind works. Okay, and I want you to hear me out. I want you to hear me out for real. If someone says I'm gay, I'm thinking, I'm like, okay. If they're right, that just means I sleep with men. I'm attracted to men. I want to be with men. Completely valid thing. Okay. Now, if someone tells me I'm fat, oftentimes that means they're telling me I'm unattractive, telling me I'm unhealthy, telling me I'm not taking care of myself. Like that's an insult. Like that's an actual real thing. So it's like when we're kind of in this like, like oh like you're calling me fat, but like you're gay thing. Like no, like that's like no. It's like in the Drake Kendrick beef, like if say Kendrick did Drake did the whole thing about like, oh yeah, you cheat on your girl with like white women, right? And Kendrick, said Drake was a pedophile. You understand, like it's like if Drake really married to the like, oh well, you're saying I like kids, well you like white women. Like it, like no, like one of them is actually like so much worse. Now, not to compare being fat to liking children, okay? That was obviously an extreme example, but you know what I mean? It's like one has negatives, one doesn't really have negatives. I mean, other than the cheating part, but like say like he's like, oh Kendrick, you like white women, like definitely at least in comparison to like liking children, like that's not an issue. But again, if you just use the general term fat, you know what I mean? And you don't like add anything to it. Obviously, again, people do add things to it. People do add things like if there's moral flaws or character flaws due to someone being fat. And I don't believe that to be true at all. I don't think that's valid at all. However, I think just again, in an inherent sense, there are certain things where it's like, oh, like, you're saying this person isn't healthy. Oftentimes, if we're talking about beauty standards, which, beauty's subjective, a lot of people like bigger people, but, if we're talking about general society, oftentimes if you're calling someone big, you're calling them unattractive, which calling someone unattractive is an insult because I think most people want to be attractive. Like it's simple as that, because being attractive is a positive, being unattractive would be the exact opposite, being a negative. So regardless, it's an insult. Also, something I should say, being underweight would also be an insult. Okay, because again, you're unhealthy, you're not taking care of yourself. Like if someone called me like, I think it's definitely happened before, someone called me like an anorexic bitch. And I was like, oh, like that, like that's definitely an insult. Like that's a bad thing because not only in that instance am I mentally ill, I'm mentally ill, not taking care of myself the way I should be, unhealthy. You know what I mean? Like, do we see the vision now? Like, because again, like I feel like people are gonna hear like that and be like, oh, fat phobia. No, it's just like it's not taking care of your body phobia, and that doesn't go being like the whole fat thing. It doesn't go for anybody who's just even a little bit overweight, anybody who's a little out of shape or like not toned or something. It just strictly goes for people who are, fat, like, cholesterol issues. Like you look at them, you're like, oh man, like you gotta be careful. See, now I feel like I stated that really eloquently and I feel like I made a really good point. I hate that this is at the end of the video because at the beginning of the video, I feel like I did less of a good job and people could just be like, oh man, this dude's fat phobic. But not gonna lie, if you made it here, then like you're a real one, like you see the vision. So anyways, that's why being fat is worse than being gay. And let me think, homophobia, yeah, I already made the argument already. Yeah, but again, people die about homophobia. Fat phobia it's honestly just like a bunch of hurt feelings, a bunch of, oh, man, I want to make a joke. Just maybe contributing to image issues, contributing to things like anorexia, body dysmorphia, stuff like that, which is bad, not good, not the best. That's why I'll never approve of fat phobia. That's why you're never gonna see me out the blue. Like here's the thing, ugliphobia. Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll crap on ugly people all day, any day, unprovoked. Now, mind you, I won't call someone ugly unprovoked. And again, that's a major thing why I feel like what I did wasn't wrong because if I were to call someone out and be like, oh, you're this, you're that for no reason, that's an issue, okay? I wasn't directly provoked. I'm just attacking for the sake of attacking. But the way I put like ugly people and fat people in different sections is, again, being ugly is so, again, like I said, beauty standards, but it's so subjective. If I say ugly, you don't know what I'm talking about. Like you don't know what I'm picturing, right? Unless I give you like specific characteristics. So it's not, so I can say whatever I want about ugly people, right? But fat people, on the other hand, you have a picture of like fat people in your mind. So I'm not going to go around poo-pooing on fat people because people can identify with that in a very objective sense and it can make them feel bad. You know what I mean? Because here's the thing, at the end of the day, you should just like try not to make people feel bad. So that's why like I am like against fat phobia, you know what I mean? Just for all intents and purposes. Even like you know, people go into the minutia of like why things shouldn't be like that. Like, nah, I just think you shouldn't be hurting people's feelings, feel like you shouldn't be discriminating. You know what I mean? Especially again, something like being big, that's not something that's harmful to other people, so there's no reason to be prejudiced against it. However, again, the worst fat phobia gets is nowhere near as bad as the worst homophobia gets. So it's like I don't want to hear it. So again, being fat being worse than being gay, and homophobia is worse than fat phobia. So it's like this entire conversation going the way it did, not going the way it did. Obviously, I did my thing in the argument department. But as far as like people who are spectating, not going the way it did, absolutely insane to me. Very upsetting. It really grinded my gears. But anyways, I'm so glad. I feel like I explained that very well. Anyways, thank you so much for watching the video. You know, you know what? It's been so long, I don't even know how to close these out anymore. State of affairs, anything? Daily uploads maybe. Okay, here's the thing. You know, I was gonna do going through because people told me I've been making hot takes on Twitter. I didn't even see them that way. Like I didn't even see them that way at all. But I think I'm gonna go through my Twitter takes and make a lot of those like videos. Because again, you know what the problem is? It was like I was off social media for so long, so it's like now like I'm saying things in weird ways that people don't understand. Like they don't understand like what I mean fully. Not that like I'm some like genius that speaks in like cryptic ways, but you know what I mean? Like it's like they can't really, like I just talk weird sometimes, so like some people will like see something and not really understand what I mean, and they'd be like, "Oh, you're tweaking your problem." No, one thing people did understand though, bro. When I tell you, Kawhi Leonard has one of the most overrated primes of all time. Okay, I'm gonna make a video about it, probably. Okay, but anyways, yeah, I'm gonna try to get real consistent. You know, the predicament that I'm in, I'm a persevere, bro. We're gonna make it happen. We're getting back on the grind. And again, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, everything I have to say. I'm so sorry, and I love you platonically. Okay, have a great day, night, evening, morning.